It's the comparison that everybody's been waiting for. It's the CFMoto 450 SS versus the tried and true Ninja 400. In today's video, we're going to be doing a deep dive between these two motorcycles, finding out which one's the best on the street, comparing and contrasting all the specifications, and determining ultimately which one you should buy. Let's get into it.
Before we get too far into the video, I want to take a quick second to shout out a really awesome promo we've got going on at yammynoob.co. If you wanted to get started riding, this is one of the best chances you have. We are giving away not one, but two Yamaha MT-07s with a full set of riding gear. We're picking two lucky winners to end up with the exact same prize, so double your chances. This is an awesome giveaway you're not going to want to miss out on. All you have to do is head over to yammynoob.co, get anything you want from the site, including merch, gear, parts, or a membership, and every dollar you spend will be an entry to win. Make sure you check out all of the official rules as well. This giveaway is ending very soon, and you only have a few days to get entered to win, and after that, you will not be able to get into this giveaway. So don't miss your chance. Head over to yammynoob.co and get all the details. Now let's get into the video.
Let's start off by talking about the specs on the new kid on the block, the CFMoto 450 SS. This motorcycle was provided to us by CFMoto Corporate as a loaner bike for a little bit, and we're also going to get to take it out on track, so make sure you check out that video. There's a whole separate racetrack comparison of these two motorcycles we're going to be doing. Now, the CFMoto 450 SS, as the name implies, is powered by a 450cc parallel twin with a 270-degree crank, making 50 horsepower and 29 foot-pounds of torque. Critically, it's making that power at about 9,200 RPM, and peak torque comes on at 7,600 RPM, with a max RPM about 12,000 with a little bit of over rev, which is pretty cool. This motorcycle also features a steel tubular frame, very similar to the Ninja 400, but with a little bit of a difference in terms of design and overall geometry. A removable subframe, which is great in case you crash this thing and you don't want to replace the entire frame, or it's going to get a total loss as well. Ergonomically, the CFMoto seats like a beginner bike. You swing a leg over this thing. I'm about 5'11" with a 32-inch inseam. You can tell I've got a bend in my legs. If I put my foot up here, I'm in a nice relaxed position on this motorcycle, but it is a little super sport-esque, but not too much. Seats very similar to something like the Ninja 400, because I can guarantee you that was a reference point for them when they were designing this machine. You've got a TFT display up here at the front, some other cool features, LED lighting front and rear. We did a detailed review on this motorcycle a while back, so you guys already know the deal. One of the coolest things about this bike is it features a big, healthy, big brake master cylinder up here with a Brembo radial mounted caliper right here. You don't see that on beginner bikes. That is pretty different for this category. MSRP on this is $54.99, so that's a very competitive price point. Also featuring upside down suspension up at the front up here, non-adjustable because again, it is an entry-level motorcycle. Carbon fiber-esque accents over here. The whole ethos of this motorcycle is it's a beautiful bike that you can own and ride, and it's a very appropriate motorcycle for beginners. With that 270-degree crank, this thing makes a really cool sound as well. When we reviewed the CFMoto a while back, we actually removed the slip-on muffler over here and got to hear it on the bark a little bit. We'll include some sound clips of that. Sounds just like an R7. But now we'll walk over to the undisputed king of the category, the Ninja 400. The Ninja 400 debuted in 2017, and quite frankly, it has yet to be dethroned in the beginner sport bike space. There is so much to love about this motorcycle. Much like the CFMoto 450 SS, you're working with a steel tubular frame, but Kawasaki really designed quite a rigid and fun motorcycle for you to ride here. A 399cc parallel twin engine making 48 horsepower and 27 foot-pounds of torque, so just 1 horsepower less and 1 pound-foot of torque less than the 450 SS. You've got a classic analog tachometer right in here, very simple, easy to read out. The ergonomics on the Ninja 400 are a little bit more polite than the CFMoto. You sit a little bit more inside of this motorcycle, get the kickstand up here, put a foot up, and it's a very comfortable all-day ride. The bars are a little bit taller than the CFMoto, but ergonomically very similar as well. A 31-inch seat height, almost identical to the CFMoto as well, so you can tell this motorcycle is definitely designed for that entry-level motorcycle rider. Now, you have a right side up fork, a smaller Nissan brake caliper up at the front, a more traditional brake master cylinder up at the front here. So the CFMoto, in theory, has a few more high-end components like that LED lighting, the TFT display, and all that good stuff right there. The Ninja 400 in base spec costs $51.99, but if you get ABS or you get a cool paint job, it can go up to $5,899. One very important point I wanted to make between these two motorcycles before we get them out on the road is that this bike weighs 354 pounds tested here at the shop. And the CFMoto claims a 370-pound wet and ready-to-ride weight, but when we tested this bike and put it on the scales, this bike weighs a portly 391 pounds, and you really feel that difference. That's one of the biggest noticeable differences between the CFMoto and the Ninja 400 is that weight. When you pick up this bike over here on the side of the stand, you can tell that it is a lighter motorcycle. The center of gravity tends to be a little bit lower on these bikes. And of course, you guys already know one of the coolest things about this bike is it's a giveaway bike over on YamiNoob.co, so make sure you check out the website, get your chances locked and loaded to win this thing, because this is a longer term bike we've got going on right now, and you're not gonna wanna miss that. Now, with all of that being said, let's go take these two motorcycles out on the road, let's compare them back to back, and then we'll come back here in the shop and render a final opinion on which one you should get. So I get asked a lot, Yam, what is your favorite motorcycle accessory? And to be honest, this is usually what I reach out for. This is called a rock form, and it's a phone mount for your motorcycle that's going to change your life. Rock form phone mounts are some of the best in the business because they basically defined the category. They're an all aluminum construction, they feature a vibration dampener, and to be honest, you can put these things on just about any motorcycle with a handlebar or clip-ons as well. They feature a stem mount or a handlebar setup that is pretty awesome. The first step is to get yourself the Rockform phone case, and that kind of opens up the whole ecosystem of products for you. Fans of the Yam are going to get 25% off by using the link down below and my code YN25. You're not going to want to miss it. That's a pretty good discount that they're offering my subscribers. So check out Rockform products. They are my go-to motorcycle accessory. This handlebar mount has been very, very useful for me when I'm traveling or just when I'm out somewhere on location and I need GPS on my phone quickly to access. So hit that link down below to Rockform and use the code YN25 for 25% off.
This is a little drag race for the CFMoto versus 400. I'm about to talk some shit. Gotta beat Brandon. I gotta not wheelie this time.
Yeah, but you can't beat me on the King. That's not fair.
You're on the CFMoto now, man. I don't know.
Come on, go! Oh, you
God damn it! All right, let's do a roll-on test, huh?
All right, what, third gear?
Yeah, third gear for maybe like 45.
All right. 45, go. I got a little jump on you, but it seems to keep pulling it away.
Yeah, it seems to have just that little bit more punch, you know?
Just a little bit. I did get a little bit of a jump on you, but it kept pulling that gap out. So it seems like it would have been the same result. We could try to do that again a little bit. We have a little open space right here.
Yeah, let's get over in the right lane. You want to retry?
Yeah, let's retry. Probably third gear again?
Yeah, third gear, 50 or so.
50? All right, 50.
You good?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. This guy's trying to merge while fucking racing. So yeah, it looks like the CFMoto's got a little more, just a little more pull, huh?
Oh, just a skosh. A skosh. But again, that brings up the question of what's that extra 50 cc's for?
So here's what I want to test. Go ahead and put it into sixth gear.
Sixth gear.
I want to do like a 60 roll on. So we'll be in 60 miles an hour. It's like top gear.
Let's do
That's
a
where
50
the torque
roll
should beat it.
on.
All right, let's go
A 50 roll on. That should exacerbate the issue, or the torque at least, more.
Did you say exaggerate?
Exacerbate. Exacerbate.
All right.
All right, 50. Ah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You can feel the one extra torque.
There it is, folks. It's just a little bit faster. Just a little bit.
Technically, you can't argue that this bike is faster.
Yeah, we'll have to see the lap times on track. You guys stay tuned for that video tomorrow. But yeah, on street, CFMoto, little bit. Out on the road with the CFMoto 450 SS and the Ninja 400. So Brandon, the CFMoto 450 SS is the new kid on the block, but I think we can agree the Ninja 400 is still a really good bike, right?
Yeah, you can't argue with arguably the king of the class. It's on top for a reason, I believe.
So what do you like about that bike?
It's just easy. It's super inviting. It doesn't want to go fast, but if you want it to, it will with no problems. It absorbs a lot of your mistakes. It's very forgiving frame and motor. It's just hard to not say it's the greatest. From a beginner standpoint and from an expert standpoint, this is a great bike.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about the 400 is it can really absorb your mistakes. I like that you said that, because that's really what you want to see in an entry-level bike. You want a bike that, you know, if you mess up your braking or you mess up your throttle input or you have a weird clutch pull, you know, it's not going to bite you so hard. Like these bigger bikes you talk about, like, I don't know, like an old Ducati 1098 or an MT10, these big nasty bikes, they're not as forgiving of those mistakes. And when you're an entry-level rider, you know, you're going to whack the throttle when you're not supposed to. You're going to hit the brakes when you're not supposed to. And you want a bike that can kind of smooth that over. And I feel like the CFMoto does that really well too. All the control inputs here are very forgiving. Like I'm going to drop it down into third and just kind of whack it a little bit. And yeah, like it's got some grunt and punch. It's got 450cc parallel twin. It's a little higher displacement than a beginner used to get back in the day. I mean, you and I remember 250s, right? That was kind of the gold standard beginner bike, and now this 50 horsepower 450 is like, oh yeah, that's a little beginner bike, you know?
Yeah. I'm wondering what that extra 50 cc's is for over the Ninja 400 here, because it doesn't seem to be affecting it in really any way.
I think that's going to come down a lot to rider skill, because these bikes are so dang equal, you know, especially from a launch. You know, I did smoke you earlier. I didn't get on camera, but I did beat you. So we'll see if I can do it again.
You can't prove it.
He's so upset, folks. He doesn't like losing. It's a real bummer for him. But yeah, the CFMoto here, it feels really neutral. I think it has more of a big bike feel to it. You know, the 400, it's super lightweight, super flickable, and really forgiving. But the CFMoto, you know, we waited at the shop. This is almost a 400-pound motorcycle, and to be quite honest, I can really feel it kind of flicking it over side to side. It's a little heavier. How does that bike feel, Brandon?
Super light. Super light. No problems back here. I enjoy this bike. I don't know if you can tell or not.
Yeah, we're a little partial to it. I mean, I've given away, I think, like 4 different 400s, and I race one. I mean, we race one. They're really cool little bikes. Do you think anybody's going to race the CFMoto 450?
I'm not sure. I would like to see what it would do, to be honest with you. But for now, there's no real parts available for it to get on track anyways. Like, you know, at least in a competitive standpoint, you can obviously take any street bike you want onto the track. But in a competitive sense, there's no real parts available for it. So I would like to see it, but I don't think anybody's going to do it.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to be pretty handy with a 3D printer and maybe a machinist to get this thing to be race prepped. But now that SUV is out of the way, why don't we cook up the pace here just a little bit, have some fun on the street here. And this bike leaves a really good impression on the street. I think it handles really neutrally. I think a beginner rider could definitely have fun with this, and even, I wouldn't say scare themselves a little bit, but that 270-degree crank engine, it has a really nice bark to it, you know? You can really hear that. It kind of sounds like an RS660 a little bit, and I gotta say, I like how it's holding the line here. I'm excited to swap back and forth with you, Brandon, and see what you think over here, but, you know, it's a really cool machine.
I don't know. I'm not sure if, at least out of this category of bike, I would like a bike that handles like a big bike. I enjoy the fact that these little bikes feel like little bikes. I think that's what brings them to be more inviting anyways, because beginner riders aren't necessarily going to know the difference, at least immediately, between 400 pounds and 360 pounds. It's not a big difference to them, but I feel like if you tell them it feels like a big bike, it almost psychs them out, if you will. If you tell them that this is an inviting, small, fun, little peppy bike, I feel like it's more inviting. It goes to the character of the class a bit more, if you know what I'm saying.
I totally agree. However, the counterpoint I'd make, I'm going to bank a U-turn right here so we can swap bikes. I don't think anybody's coming. I think we're good. The thing I would say is, you know, maybe this prepares you a little bit better for your big bike because it's a little more substantial. It's not going to be as big of a jump. But at the same time, that's part of the experience, right? You come from the tiny bike, you come from the lightweight bike, and then you get to experience the heft of a big bike. But that doesn't have the big bike power, so it's kind of a little weird. But I'm curious to see what you think.
Let's see. I can definitely feel that weight you were talking about immediately.
It's crazy. It feels like it's 100 pounds heavier, to be honest. Like
it's just really heavy. It's up really high. That's the thing about the weight. It's up really high.
It's way up there. The CG, like, this feels so, like, look at this. I mean, I'm not a big guy. I can manhandle this bike.
I'm an even less big of a guy. All right, let the fast guy lead here.
Oh, the guy that lost the drag race earlier.
Oh, sick burn.
Oh man, it's so different.
Oh, it is. I see what you mean by it feels like a big bike. It feels stable, but it almost feels like I need to be riding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, I can put this little Ninja anywhere. It's crazy.
That Ninja is so inviting. I could ride it if I want, but I don't have to. This, at least in this scenario right here, it feels like I have to push it. It's not bad by any means, but again, I feel like it's not the feeling that I'm looking for in this class.
It doesn't have little bike feel, no, and that's all. It's a good thing and a bad thing, you know?
That's true. I mean, if it is what you're looking for, absolutely. I can see why you would like this thing. It's a peppy little thing. It has a bit of fun. You can hear that little low-end grunt, especially with this muffler on.
It's got a cool sound though, right?
Yeah, if this had a full system, or not even a full system, just a slip-on exhaust, it would get the noise of that twin that you were talking about, the R7, the 660S noise. So it definitely gives you the feel, and the feel in the brake lever is also very big bike. You can tell the difference in how these bikes feel just in their brake levers.
One thing I will say the CFMoto has over the Ninja 400 is I think it does have a little more curb appeal. The TFT display, the way it looks, I think it has that big bike presence on the road. Because I mean, the Ninja it's a little long in the tooth. You know, I'll come up by you over here. You can tell it's you know, the ergos and the plastics. It feels last generation. You know.
But that being said, this does have very similar ergonomics to the Ninja. They feel at least similar to handlebar to butt, at least, because they have almost identical seat heights, don't they?
They do, yeah. I think the thing that the Ninja does is you feel like you're inside of the bike a little bit more. It feels like the CF, you're a little bit more on top of it, like a big bike. But the ergos are very close. They're very, very comparable.
And I will say that weight, once you get used to it, is not a bad thing.
Brandon, any other street impressions of the bike?
As a street bike, I actually enjoy it. I can see why it's so appealed, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought this was more of an appeal to people because it was cheaper than the Ninja. But it's not. But I mean, it is still a very appealable bike. It has the nice TFT display, you know, a proper fuel gauge. It has nice technology with it. But for the money, for a proven platform, personally, I can't argue with that, because I mean, I don't really care about the TFT personally, but I can't argue with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think if you, like I said, if you want, you know, a little bit more features and kind of cool looks and stuff, the CFMoto is a great bike. You're going to enjoy it, but I still think this is a really good bike. But I'm going to get them both back in the shop and wrap up my final thoughts. I think we got a little bit more to say.
So we're back here in the shop, ready to render a final verdict between the CFMoto 450 SS and the Ninja 400. Man, this is a tough one. Both of these bikes cost about the same, they go about the same, and they pretty much fulfill the entry-level beginner sport bike requirements. I think the CFMoto over here, it kind of starts to punch above a normal sport bike, a normal entry-level bike. It's got the TFT, the Brembo caliper, the overall look of it, the sound of the 270-degree crank. CFMoto has done some very intelligent things here to market to the beginner rider, to get the beginner rider excited about owning their first motorcycle. Whereas I think the Ninja 400 over here has been around the block. You know, they can start to look a little bit old. It can start to look a little long in the tooth. You know, it looks like an entry-level bike. But I gotta be honest with you guys, the bones of the Ninja 400 are so freaking good. This bike came out in 2017 and it still has the potential to wow and impress and really be a great bike for you to learn, grow, and adapt with. If it were my own money, I still think I would pick a Ninja 400 over a CFMoto, but if you guys out there want this motorcycle, you are not gonna get a bad bike. This thing is really cool. It makes a great sound. It's got the cool LED lights. If you want that bigger bike feel, the CFMoto definitely gives that to you, but I think the Ninja 400 overall as a package is a better bike. And to remind you guys, this CFMoto was given to us as a loaner machine for a couple of weeks here at the shop, and so that way CFMoto could have us make some cool content with it. We have a full dedicated track impressions coming out with both of these bikes tomorrow as well. You're not going to want to miss that one. And this Ninja 400 is a giveaway bike over on YamiNoob.co. Go out there and support the show. Go to YamiNoob.co, get your involvement in on everything we're doing here, and get your chances locked in, loaded to win this Ninja 400. So that's going to be my opinion on these two bikes. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Did you deliberate between a CFMoto and a 400? Let me know in the comments down below which one you ended up choosing and why, and I will try to respond as many comments as possible. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.